Let's continue with the Gandhian era, which was stopped in the last video. Come on, let's start. In Delhi Congress session on 14 June 1947, the resolution for India's partition was passed. The session was presided over by Rajendra Prasad, who declared, "Every blow that is hurled on my back will be a nail in the coffin in the British Empire." Lala Lajpat Rai, who were directly related to the Pune Pact of 1932, Indian depressed classes, who is the author of the autobiography The Indian Struggle, Subhash Chandra Bose. There is going to be a revolution here, and we must get out quick. Who said it? Lord Wavell, who was nominated President of the Indian National Congress after the resignation of Subhash Chandra Bose. Rajendra Prasad, who was the nationalist leader to be elected as Speaker of Central Legislative Assembly in 1925. Vittalbhai Patel, the first mass movement started by Mahatma Gandhi was non-cooperation movement, who was founded the Independent League, who had founded the Independent League, Motilal Nehru, during India's struggle for independence. Who was the first to start Satyagraha? Mahatma Gandhi. Sabarmati Ashram, established by Mahatma Gandhi during the course of India's independence movement, is located on the outskirts of Ahmedabad. Who of the following suggested the winding up of the Indian National Congress after India attained freedom? Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji took up Dandi March as a civil disobedience movement on 12th March 1930. Who was the first person to observe individual satyagraha? Vinoba Bhave. Which of the following acts was described by Jawaharlal Nehru as New Charter of Slavery? Government of India Act 1935. Who wrote Unhappy India? Lala Lajpat Rai. Give the correct chronological order of the following events: formation of Indian National Congress, then formation of Muslim League, then formation of All India Trade Union Congress, then formation of All India Untouchability League. In which years are these organizations formed? Give the years in the comments. The Indian National Congress observed Independence Day for the first time on 26 January 1930. This is also called as Purna Swaraj. When did Cabinet Mission arrive in India? 1946. Who among the following was not a signatory to the historic Pune Pact of 1932? C. Rajagopalachari. Who was the first Governor General of independent India? Lord Mountbatten. When was the non-cooperation movement suspended? 1922. Assertion Region. Protest, led by Lala Lajpat Rai, was organized in Lahore in 1928 against Simon Commission. Yes, true. Simon Commission did not have the single Indian member in it. Yes, this is also true. And reason is the correct explanation of assertion. And he was given the slogan. What is the slogan that he was given during this Hartal or the movement? Mention it in the comment. Jammu and Kashmir became an integral part of India on 26 October 1947. Who was the commander-in-chief of INA before Subhash Chandra Bose? Captain Mohan Singh. Arrange the following events in chronological order. Okay. Champaran Satyagraha, then death of Tilak, then Dandi March, then Shimla Pact. Mention the years in the comments. The whole dispute between Subhash Chandra Bose and right wing after the Tripura session of Congress centered around to the question of formation of Congress Working Committee. Gandhiji Champaran movement was for solving the problem of indigo workers. The goal of the Lahore Congress was complete independence of India. The Muslim League first gave the call for a separate state of Pakistan in 1940. Who was the first Indian woman to preside over the Indian National Congress? Sarojini Naidu. Montego transformed reforms provided for diarchy. Who founded All India Harijan Sangh? Mahatma Gandhi. Aim of the Swarajya Party was to entered the legislature and wrecked the government from within? Who gave the slogan Jai Hind? Subhash Chandra Bose. When was non-cooperation movement called off? 12th February 1922. Who was the first person to establish an independent Indian army outside India? Raj Bihari Bose. Who accompanied Bhagat Singh to bomb at the Central Legislature Assembly in Delhi? Bodhkeshwar Datta. The Rowlatt Act was passed in the year 1919. Where did the Tehapka Thebaga movement occur in 1946? Bengal. Who handed over the charge of Indian National Army to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose? Raj Bihari Bose. In which year was the Swarajya Party established? 1923. Who was known as the Frontier Gandhi? Abdul Ghaffar Khan. When was the Azad Hind Fauj formed? 1st September 1942. Who was called the Iron Man of India? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Which one of the following is not a feature of the Government of India Act of 1935? Diarchy at the center as well as the provinces. This is not the feature of 1935, but this is a feature of which Government of India Act? Mention it in the comment. The features which are included in the Government of India Act 1932 are a bicameral legislature, provincial autonomy, and all India federation. But in this 1935, the diarchy is at the provinces, okay? It's not at the center. The Indian National Congress came into existence in 1943 in Singapore. After returning from South Africa, Gandhiji launched his first successful satyagraha in Champaran, Assertion region. Lord Lithgow described the August movement of 1942 as the most serious revolt after the disappointment of 1857 through peasants joined the movement in large number in some places. This is also true, but it is not the correct reason or correct explanation of assertion. At the time of partition of India, which one of the following provinces of British India came forward with a plan for a united and independent existence? Punjab. The Balkan Plan for fragmentation of India was the brainchild of Lord Mountbatten. Who among the following leaders proposed to adopt complete independence as the goal of the Congress in the Ahmedabad session? Hasarat Mohani. Who among the following organized the famous Chittagong Armory raid? Surya Sen. During the Indian freedom struggle, the Kudai Khidmatkars, also known as Red Shirts, called for the Pathan nationalist unity and a struggle against colonialism. Assertion region. The effect of labor partition in the Indian nationalist upsurge of the early 1930s was weak. This is true. The labor leaders considered the ideology of Indian National Congress as bourgeois and reactionary. This is also true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. The last opportunity to avoid the partition of India was lost with the rejection of Cabinet Mission Plan. When was it passed? Mention it in the comment. The real intention of the British to include the princely states in the Federal Union proposed by the Indian Act of 1935 was to use the princes to counterbalance the anti-imperialist doctrines of the nationalist leaders. The president of Indian National Congress at the time of partition of India was J.P. Kripalani. When Congress leaders condemned the Montague-Chelmsford reforms, many moderates left the party to form the Indian Liberal Federation. With reference to Indian freedom struggle, which one of the following statements is not correct? In 1931, the Congress session at Karachi opposed Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Who headed the interim cabinet formed in the year 1946? Jawaharlal Nehru. The leader of the Badawi Satyagraha was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The Montagu Chambers formed reforms based on the basis of the Government of India Act 1919. During the Indian freedom struggle, who among the following proposed that Swaraj should be defined as complete independence free from all foreign control? Maulana Hazrat Mohani. The name of the famous person of India who retained the knighthood conferred on him by the British government as a token of protest against the atrocities in Punjab in 1919 was Rabindranath Tagore. What was the incident happened in Punjab in 1919? Mention it in the comments. Consider the following events during India's freedom struggle. Arrange them in the chronological order. Okay. Morley Minto reforms 1909. Then Montego-Chelmsford reforms 1919. Then Chowri Chowra outrage 1922. Dandi March in 1930. Consider the following statements. Okay. Among these three, which are correct? On the eve of launch of Quit India movement, Mahatma Gandhi asked the government servants to resign. True. Asked the soldiers to leave their posts. True. Asked the princes of the Prestige states to accept the sovereignty of their own people. This is also right. In which one of the following provinces was a Congress ministry not formed under the Act of 1935? Punjab. At which Congress session was the Congress Working Committee authorized the launch a program of civil disobedience? At Lahore. In October 1920, who of the following headed a group of Indians gathered at Tashkent to set up a Communist Party of India? M.N. Roy. Who among the following drafted the resolution on fundamental rights and economic program for the Karachi session of Congress in 1931? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Consider the following statements, and among these two, which are the correct? Lord Mountbatten was the viceroy when Shimla Conference took place. No. Lord Wavell was the viceroy. Indian Navy revolt. 1946 took place when the Indian sailors in the Royal Indian Navy at Bombay and Karachi rose against the government. True. Consider the following statements, and among these three, which are the correct ones? In the first roundtable conference, Dr. Ambedkar demanded separate electorates for the depressed classes. True. In the Pune Pact, special provisions for representation of the depressed people in the local bodies and civil services were made. No. The Indian National Congress did not take part in the third roundtable conference. This is also true. Which party was founded by Subhash Chandra Bose in the year 1939 after he broke away from the Congress? Forward Bloc. Consider the following statements. The Government of India Act 1935 provided for the provincial autonomy. True. Establishment Federal Court. True. All Indian Federation at the center. This is also true. Under whose presidency was the Lahore session of the Indian National Congress held in the year 1929, wherein a resolution was adopted to gain Purna Swaraj from the British? Jawaharlal Nehru. And during this session, um, the flag was hosted. Which portfolio was held by Dr. Rajendra Prasad in the interim government formed in the year 1946? Food and Agriculture. Which one of the following arose a wave of popular indignation that led to the massacre by the British at Jallianwala Bagh, the Rowlatt Act? Who wrote the book The Story of the Integration of the Indian States? V.P. Menon. Assertion reason. According to the Wavell Plan, the number of Hindu and Muslim members in the Executive Council were to be same. True. Wavell thought that this arrangement would be avoided the partition of India. This is false. Who was the Viceroy of India when the Rowlatt Act was passed? Lord Chelmsford. Which one of the following suggested the reconstitution of the Viceroy's Executive Council in which all the portfolios included that of war members were to be held by the Indian leaders? Shimla Conference. During the Indian freedom struggle, who of the following raised an army called Free Indian Legion? Subhash Chandra Bose. Assertion region. The Congress ministries in all provinces resigned in the year 1939. True. The Congress did not accept the decision of the Viceroy to declare war against Germany in the context of Second World War. This is also true, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Who among the following Gandhian followers was a teacher by profession? J. B. Kripalani. Which one of the following was a journal brought out by Abul Kalam Azad? Al Hilal. Consider the following statements. The discussion in the roundtable. Okay. Among these two, which are the correct ones? The discussion in the third roundtable conference eventually led to the passing of the Government of India Act 1935. True. The Government of India Act 1935 provided for the establishment of an All India Federation to the based on a union of the provinces of British India and the princely states. This is also true. Who of the following prime ministers sent Cripps mission to India? Winston Churchill in 1942. During the Indian freedom struggle, why did Rowlatt Act arouse popular indignation? It authorized the government to imprison people without trial. In the individual satyagraha, Vinoba Bhave was chosen as the first satyagrahi. Who was the second? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Vinoba Bhave is the first satyagrahi and the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is the second satyagrahi in individual satyagraha. Consider the following statements. Among these two, which are the correct ones? The Cripps proposal includes the provision for full independence for India. No. Creation of constitution making body. True. With reference to Simon Commission's recommendations, which one of the following statements is correct? It recommended the replacement of diarchy with responsible government in the province. This is correct. After Quit India movement, C. Rajagopalachari issued a pamphlet entitled The Way Out. Which one of the following was the proposal on in his pamphlet? That is a solution for the constitutional deadlock. This was issued by C. Rajagopalachari. Who among the following were official Congress negotiators with Cripps mission? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. The Congress ministries resigned in the seven provinces in 1939 because the Congress could not form ministries in the other four provinces. No emergency of a left wing in the Congress made the working of the ministries impossible. No, there were widespread communal disturbances in their provinces. No. Which of the following parties were established by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? Select the correct answer. Okay. The Peasants and the Workers' Party of India? No. All India Scheduled Caste Federation? Right. The Independent Labour Party? This is also right. Mahatma Gandhi undertook fast unto death in 1932 mainly because Ramsay MacDonald announced the communal award. The role that aimed at imprisonment without trial and summary procedures for trial. The Lahore session of the Indian National Congress is very important in history because that Congress passed a resolution demanding complete independence. This is Purna Swaraj. This is true. The rift between the extremists and moderates were resolved in that session. No. A resolution was passed rejecting the two nation theory in that session. No. First one is correct. Okay. Up to here, the Gandhian era is completed. This is very, very important. Don't let it go from your hands. And in the next video, we will look at the miscellaneous of modern India. After this, the modern history will be completed. Okay, thank you.